Clarra's accounting features provide a comprehensive set of tools fully integrated with your broader workflow on Clarra, allowing you to keep track of expenses, invoices, and payments related to your matters and make forecasts to plan effectively. Clarra also offers a varied and detailed set of accounting reports to help you effectively budget, allocate resources, and track performance. Clarra Analytics provide fantastic insight into productivity, realization, collection, and especially profitability. All of these features work together to not only keep track of your accounting needs, but understand performance as it specifically relates to your matters and workflow. Returning to the accounting section, we'll go over each of the main tabs here. The Accounting Overview tab functions exactly as it sounds, providing an overview of key metrics across different aspects of accounting, with an easy-to-use date range filter to specify results. Here, you can get a snapshot of your forecasts, expenses, invoices, and payments. The Overview tab also serves as the page to access your default accounting settings. Here, you can set which users are responsible for approving expenses and invoices, as well as establishing default invoice terms and which company logo you would like to display on your invoices. To edit accounting settings, simply press Edit, make the changes you would like, and press Save. We'll jump over to Accounts next, as you must set up relevant accounts before utilizing other accounting features, such as tracking payments and generating invoices. To create a new account, click the Add New Account button on the right, and start by entering basic information about the account. All accounts have a designated account type, the default options being client, operating trust, and vendor accounts. These account types are customizable in your properties. As you can see, a defendant account option has been added. The account holder draws from your list of contacts, so be sure to create that contact before creating the account. The same goes for billing and primary contacts, where the contacts must be created before creating their linked account. Enter in relevant contact information for these sections, as well as any notes you'd like, and press Save when you're done. The Accounts table provides easy access to information about each account you've added, and crucially, the account's current transaction balance. Let's move on to forecasts, which are a really useful planning tool to anticipate upcoming revenues and expenses. As an all-in-one platform, Clarra makes it easy to compare forecasts with actuals to assess performance and make informed budgeting decisions. Forecasts are split between revenue forecasts and expense forecasts, which have different uses. Revenue forecasts show projected revenues and can be included in invoices you create for both one-time and recurring payments. Expense forecasts are exclusively for budgeting and planning purposes. You can include expenses in invoices, but not expense forecasts. As with other accounting tabs, there are easy access filters available, allowing you to filter by date and other categories. The revenue and expense forecast tables provide key information at a glance that fit the selected filter criteria. Adding forecasts is a pretty straightforward process for both. To create a revenue forecast, click Add at the top right of the revenue forecast table. Choose whether the revenue item is one-time or recurring, and fill in the rest of the information before pressing Save. You can add an expense forecast by clicking Add at the top right of the expense forecast table. Choose whether the expense is billable or non-billable, fill in the rest of the information, and press Save. Moving on to expenses, the benefits of Clarra's matter-focused approach shine in comparison with other accounting systems with a more exclusive focus on transactions. With Clarra, you can track your expenses by matter and even split expenses across matters. This is a key feature to guarantee appropriate cost distributions and streamline your overall accounting workflow. Consider a couple of examples. You can split your company's phone bill proportionately to each matter. If one matter requires more time on the phone than another matter, you can account for that with the matter split. The same goes for software used across multiple matters. The cost of that software can be appropriately split across its relevant matters. Let's take a look at creating that split with a new expense. You can create a new expense by clicking Add New Expense above the expense table and select whether the expense is billable or non-billable. Fill in expense details, including selecting a vendor from your contacts, and the expense category, which you can customize in Properties. Then enter the monetary figures for the expense, namely quantity and amount, say 2 of an item for $500 each. These codes cost center, and locations are all customizable in properties as well, and beneath them you can attach tags, notes, and files. After that, we reach the split function. If you select just one matter, the entirety of that expense is applied to that matter. Adding another matter allows you to place some of that expense towards that matter as well. Once you've adjusted the amounts per matter for the expense, click Save to review different save options. Save saves the expense. Save and Send saves the expense and opens a new Communications tab to send to a contact you choose if you have communications enabled. Save and Submit for approval saves the expense and sends it to the approver for expenses you assigned back on the settings of the accounting overview page. Back on the Expenses tab, let's take a look at some of the things we can do with expenses. As with other tabs, you can filter by date, status, and more. You can take actions on individual expenses by clicking the three dots to the right of the expense. You can apply an expense to an existing payment or create a new one, send the expense to a contact or coworker on Clarra, mark it as not sent, or even delete the expense. You can also click the three dots on the top right of the page, below your profile icon, to export the expense table for external use, import expenses, or print. Moving on to invoices, Clarra's flexibility is on full display with how easy it is to generate different types of invoices for different needs. You can create invoices by matter or by client on Clarra, meaning you can generate invoices for individual matters, or one invoice for multiple matters that involve the same client. Invoices draw from the data you've logged in Clarra, so regardless of the type of invoice you're generating, you can do so efficiently by selecting from the timeslips, expenses, and revenue forecasts you've already entered. With payment integrations enabled, you can even include payment links directly on the invoice you generate and send that invoice straight from Clarra to your clients, with communications integrations enabled, similar to how you can send expenses. Let's take a look at generating a new invoice, first by matter. Click on the right side of the screen, Add New Invoice, and select By Matter. Select a date range, and a matter. You can select multiple matters, if you would like, which will generate different invoices for each matter. Confirm the accounts and matters you'd like to select, and then select which specific items you'd like to include in the invoice. Click Generate Invoice at the bottom, and review the generated invoice. Here you can make changes to the information in the invoice summary. You can add notes and terms and conditions, and add additional entries to the invoice as well. At the bottom, you can save the invoice as a draft or publish it. An invoice must first be published before it can be submitted for approval or have a payment applied to it. Back on the Invoice tab, we can see the actions we can take on the invoice by clicking those three dots, including submitting the invoice for approval, applying it to an existing payment or creating a new payment to apply it to, sending the invoice with Clarra's communication features, as well as exporting, cloning, voiding, and deleting the invoice. The green pencil next to those three dots allows you to edit the generated invoice. Generating an invoice by client is very similar, except you select by client instead of by matter. This tool is particularly useful when billing clients that are involved in multiple matters. Finally, the Payments feature makes it easy to track payments related to expenses and invoices. Payments can be logged manually or by utilizing a variety of integrations available on Clarra. You can use Zapier, or Clarra's public API, to integrate payments with third-party platforms, including QuickBooks, and also use the Confido payment integration to include payment links directly on invoices you generate in Clarra. Payments made via Confido automatically update payment statuses and account balances and create payment records in Clarra. You can learn more about Confido and other payment integrations on our support site. To add a payment manually, click Add New Payment on the right of the Payments tab. Fill in the payment details and make sure you have the appropriate payor and payee accounts set up. You can apply payments to invoices, expenses, and matters, and include additional information below. Back on the Payments tab, the Payments table includes key information about payments at a glance, including payment status, so you can stay on top of payment activity. In all, Clarra's varied accounting features work together to meet the needs of your accounting workflow and maintain clarity in how expenses, invoices, and payments relate to your matters. You can make use of the integrations to combine these features with your existing workflow and streamline the payment process. Visit our support site for more detailed information on each accounting section, use cases, and more.